Hi! Today we'll talk about what backward design is, why we should use it, and how it is related to EFL. So what is backward design? Backward design, also called backward planning or backward mapping, is a process that educators use to design learning experiences and instructional techniques to achieve specific learning goals. Backward design begins with the objectives of a unit or a course, what students are expected to learn and be able to do, and then proceeds backward to create lessons that achieve those design goals. So why backward? It's because you can focus on the design learning objectives. When we start from the learning objectives, we would not be distracted by other factors while designing the curriculum, like textbooks, activities, instructional methods, etc. So how can we be distracted by other factors if we do not use backward design? In traditional design, when we design lessons that are mainly based on textbooks, or in other words, we try to cover all contents from textbooks. So if we choose to design lessons in that way, can we say for sure that what we've designed actually missed the learning goals from the beginning, or that has been misled by other factors? Clear purpose. Another reason that understanding by design mentions that with backward design, you give yourself clear purposes of the lessons, activities, or materials that you've chosen to serve the learning objectives of the class. So, by truly understanding what we're after, we will be able to choose what instructions, materials, activities, or assessment would help our student reach the goal. Also, students will see the purposes for taking the lessons or for doing activities, not because they are doing something that the teachers told them to do so and they have no idea why they should do that. Alright, now how can I use backward design to EFL? So I want to see how backward design can be applied in designing a curriculum for an IELTS preparation course. For those who do not know what IELTS is, it's a test used to check EFL learners' English proficiency, which is usually one of the requirements for international students to enter a school or a college in an English-spoken country. Well, luckily, I'm currently working on an instructional design project for my class at University of Houston, in which I design an IELTS preparation course, which also makes use of backward design. So this was the whole process of my instructional design project. Just like the backward design, I started from identifying desired results, or in this case, was to identify instructional goals. So the instructional goal of this project was what learners are expected to master after completing the course. Then I went backward to design what instruction and materials can be used to reach the desired results. Step 1. Identify instructional goals. In this project, I identified that by the end of an e-learning course, adult learners are expected to perform pronunciation features that reach requirements of 6 band score in IELTS speaking test by using digital tools. Then I analyzed learners and contexts by interviewing and conducting a survey on some learners. This helped me answer the learners' characteristics, their abilities, their attitudes, their academic motivation, and how adaptable is the learning context. In the second step, I conducted an instructional analysis in which I conducted a goal analysis to identify subordinate and entry skills. The next step was to write performance objectives and to develop assessment instruments. For each goal that I have identified in the previous step, I broke down each goal into minor goals, which are called performance objectives. These are the objectives that learners must master in order to reach the big final goal of the whole course. Then, for each performance objective, I develop assessment instruments to check whether learners have reached each performance objectives. Assessment instruments include tests, checklists, and so on that are used to check learners' ability and progress. In the fourth step, I started to plan for instructional strategy and develop instructional materials that can be used for the course. But since this was a small project and I only had 2 weeks to develop, I've only planned for one lesson from the whole course. The last step was for evaluation. In this project, I used Formative Evaluation, which is the evaluation that can be done during the process of instructional design. I first asked 3 SME, who are subject matter experts, to give me one-to-one evaluation on my design. Meanwhile, I also taught the lesson to a small group of 8 students to receive small group evaluations on the lesson. The purpose of these evaluations was to help me revise the materials. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!